We will start in child's pose today. So those of you that are familiar with child's pose, you know where to go. Others of you, let me demo and let me give you some options. I encourage you to start with a wide-legged child's pose. So that means opening your knees as wide as the mat and bringing your big toes together to touch. Bring your glutes down towards your heels. Now, for some of you, you might start feeling the discomfort here. Maybe you need to roll up a blanket and put it underneath your ankles. Maybe you have a blanket or a pillow and you want to put it between your glutes and your heels. Once you find that position, I want you to extend yourself forward and lower your chest towards the earth. Some of you might find that you would like to have a pillow or a blanket folded underneath your chest here. Some of you will be able to lower your forehead to the earth. Some might be able to lower your chin to the earth. But in the child's pose, I want you to extend your hands forward this time as you lower your torso and your head towards the earth. Now, if this is completely uncomfortable for you and not working, then you can also come down flat to your belly and just extend your arms out in front of you. So find a position that works for you. Find your child's pose and prepare for your first hold. And as you do that, I'll walk you through the theme for today. So we're transitioning to summer. And in Chinese philosophy, summer is represented by the fire element. So the idea with summer is that we can use the fiery, burning energy of summer to grow the seeds that we've planted in spring. I've got this thing about the change in season. I think it's really important to honor an energetic shift from one mode of being to another mode of being. And summer is an opportunity to burn brightly with possibility. Summer is my personal favorite season because I'm not teaching, I'm not taking classes. I've always loved the summertime. I also love the heat. I also love the sun. So I encourage you to also reflect on what summer means to you and what possibilities might arise for you this summer. The fire element is also associated with the heart and the heart meridian. So the heart meridian runs outside your pinky, it crosses your palm, comes inside your inner arm, and then crosses to your heart. Both arms represent the heart meridian. So while we're in child's pose, we're starting to activate that heart meridian with our arms reaching forward. So most of you probably started with your palms flat to the earth, and that's fine. But if you'd like to get more into that heart meridian, turn your hand on its side so that the edges of your pinkies are now flat to the mat. And that helps us set the intention of activating our heart meridian. Edges of the pinky fingers are flat to the earth. Maybe you can feel that stretch under your arms. Breathe. There's no set breathing pattern for today. So just take normal breaths, inhale and exhales, whatever feels comfortable to you. Surrender to your child's pose. Maybe even imagine yourself as that seed from spring that's about to grow, manifest its full possibility. Now, if you want a little extra in your child's pose, you can bend your arms at your elbows, bring your palms to touch in prayer, and then bring those palms back behind your head for our last minute here. And again, you might feel the intensification under your triceps. Still working that heart meridian. You might feel it in your upper back as well. Breathe. If you created your prayer hands behind your head, slowly return them to the earth. If your hands are already onto the earth, push your hands into the earth, raise your hips up and come to tabletop. You can slowly walk your knees in together. We call this the rebound or the echo of the pose. And give your body whatever it wants here. Maybe your hips want to swing from side to side. Maybe you want to pick up your ankles and rotate your feet or point and flex. Maybe a calf stretch feels good. For some of you whose knees need a break, maybe a down dog feels good. You can lift your hips up to the sky. Just take whatever movement your body is asking for by means of transition here. We'll be coming back to tabletop, back on our knees in a minute, so maybe getting off of them will feel good for you. If you're a down dog, maybe you also shake your head yes, yes to possibility. And then when you're ready, come back down to tabletop. When you're in your tabletop pose, hips are over the knees, shoulders are over the wrists. Bring your right hand in front of your face. You can keep your toes tucked or you can relax the top of your feet to the earth, whatever works for you. Right hand comes in front of your face. Press down into your right palm. As you inhale, raise your left arm up into the air, rotate your wrist, and then bring it under to thread the needle so that your left shoulder and your left cheek come down to the earth. Again, getting into the heart meridian, our shoulders here. Now for some of you, you'll want that right hand to stay in front of your face. Others of you might want to extend that right hand out, long in front of you. If you extend the right hand out, you might feel more activation at heart meridian. You can also turn your arm so that long edge of the pinky is on the mat. Even more activation for the heart meridian. I'll shift the other way. And again, just come to a place where you feel some sensation. I can personally feel this in the left shoulder. I can also feel a little bit under my right arm, especially with the pinky side of my hand on the earth. Continue to breathe. Now remember, even though we're holding the pose, you're not stuck. Okay? So if at any point you need to come out because that's better for your body, go ahead and come on out. Continue to breathe. Continue to meditate on the concept of possibility. Well, when you're ready, if you extended your arm out, bring it back in front of your face. So right hand is in front of the face. On an inhale, raise your left arm up, rotate that wrist, reach through the pinky side, and then come back to tabletop. Again, you can take a few shifts from side to side if you want. You can bring your weight to your heels and maybe roll out the shoulders a little bit. If that feels good, these rebounds or transitions are up to you, whatever feels good to your body in the transition. But then make your way down to your belly. So I'll turn a long way, so this will be a little easier for you to see. We're doing a shoulder stretch now. So on your belly, we're still working on the left side. So extend your right arm out, right? So that your right arm comes towards the left side of your body. And then your left arm crosses over the right, so the left arm is on top. Now, some of you might like to cross more at your wrists, right? Others of you might like to cross more at your elbows. I like to have a really tight cross, so I get my arms as tight as they will cross, and then just rest my chin on my hands for a shoulder stretch. For me, this is where I can feel the stretch in my left shoulder. But again, for some of you, maybe you want the cross to happen more at your wrist, and then you can put your forehead on the earth. But either way, still working into that heart meridian, get into that shoulder stretch. And breathe. I'll give you lots of space tonight to be with yourself. I won't talk as much. But if you're feeling it, you're doing it. Breathe. When you're ready, slowly release the cross of your arms. Feel the echo of that pose. When you're ready, push yourself back up to tabletop. Again, maybe you sit on your heels and roll out your shoulders a little bit if that feels good. Just take whatever works for you. And then we'll work on the other side. So we're doing the exact same thing on the right side this time. So when you're ready, return to tabletop. Hips over your knees, shoulders over your wrists, left hand in front of your face this time. Inhale the right arm up to the sky, rotate the wrist, and then thread the needle. Right arm comes underneath the left, right shoulder to the earth, right cheek to the earth. Maybe the left hand stays in front of your face. Maybe you extend it straight out in front of you. Maybe you open up that palm, take the pinky flat to the earth. Breathe. The heart meridian also represents our capacity to give and to receive love. Some people say we can only love to the depths we can only love others to the depths with which we love ourselves. So send yourself some love today. Also, if you'd like to try the Pachari Mudra, it's when you take the tip of the tongue and bring it to the back of your teeth as you breathe. That has a tendency to create more heat and fire within the body. It also helps you seal your energy, unite the masculine and feminine sides of the body, the yin and yang sides of the body. So if you'd like to try that, tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth, maybe you hear an ocean-like sound when you're breathing, and that's perfectly fine. Just breathe. When you're ready, if you extended that left arm, bring it back in front of your face. On an inhale, raise that right arm up to the sky, reach through the pinky, rotate your wrist. Return the hand to the earth, give the body whatever movement it likes. For me, I'm feeling these shoulder rolls today, whatever works for you. And then you know where we're going. Back down to the belly. To do the shoulder stretch on the other side. So this time the left arm is on the bottom. The left arm crosses over to the right. The right arm crosses over the left. You decide whether you want to cross at the wrists, at the elbows, or as tight as you can up into the shoulders. Maybe you rest your chin on your arms. If you're crossing at the wrists, maybe you can get your forehead to the mat. Find your sweet spot. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. Maybe you feel a little tug across the upper back. Maybe you feel it in the shoulder joints. Maybe you can also feel it in your arms. My shoulders are always tight, so I'm feeling it everywhere. But breathe into wherever you feel it. You feel your belly on the earth. As you inhale, expand your belly into the earth. And exhale, contract, belly button comes to your spine. Make your breaths as long and deep as you can. Maybe also tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth. When you're ready, slowly, slowly uncross your arms. And prop yourself back up. Come back to tabletop again. Any rebound movement that works well for your body, take it now. If you hear some popping without pain, that's okay. It probably just means you're creating some space in those connective tissues that I talked about earlier. Our next pose is melting heart pose. So we're bringing our heart close to the earth and still working our heart meridians. So start off in tabletop again. You want to keep your hips over your knees. Walk your hands forward as far as they'll go, and then lower your chest towards the earth. Maybe your forehead will touch. And if so, you're probably feeling a pretty intense stretch between your shoulder blades, maybe under your arms. If it's too much for you, then just walk your hands out a little bit wider. Bring your forehead to the earth. You can also fold a blanket or a towel underneath your forehead if it doesn't touch the earth comfortably. For those of you that are more flexy, you might be able to even bring your chin to the earth. If one of your shoulders is not feeling this, you can bend one arm at the elbow, cross it in front of you so the arm is parallel to the front of your mat, and just extend one arm forward and rest your forehead on your arm. So find your sweet spot. If this doesn't work for you, you can always go back to child's pose. But the intention is to melt your heart towards the earth. And also activate the heart meridian. So again, if you like, you can rotate those palms so the palms are facing together and you're on the pinky side of your hand. That might intensify a little bit for you. Go to wherever you can hold the pose and breathe. Remember, we find our edge, the first place where we feel something. Then we hold for time and commit to stillness. So you don't want to go to your furthest depth when you first start. Just go to where you first feel something. So maybe you walked your hands pretty wide, that's fine. Maybe that'll get more comfortable and you can walk them together. Maybe you'll have another edge where the palms can face each other, and maybe not, that's fine. Breathe. If your palms are facing each other, return them flat to the mat. And lower yourself down to your belly. So just come down to your elbows first. Walk your legs back, bring your chest forward. Come down to your belly for Sphinx pose. Lots of options here for Sphinx pose. I like to have the top of my feet flat to the earth. But if tucking your toes feels better for you, that's fine. You can have your legs close together. You can spread your legs further apart. You can have your elbows under your shoulders. This intensifies the stretch in your mid-back if your elbows are right under your shoulders. So you can also walk your elbows out a little further away for you, if that works. If the extension in your back isn't good for you at all, you can bring your right hand down to your mat, your left hand, and come down to your forehead, or crocodile pose. If you're here up on your elbows and you want a little bit more, you can always bend your knees and bring your heels closer to your glutes. That should activate your lower back as well. Some of you that have pillows or blankets, you might want to put them underneath your arms for support. Again, just find a place where you're feeling something. And we're here in Sphinx pose. And if you like, instead of having your hands flat to the mat, you can turn your palms so that they're facing each other. A little more activation again for those pinky fingers. Up to you. Sphinx will be our longest hold. So I encourage you again to meditate on what you want to bring to fruition in your fire season. What goals would you like to jumpstart? What joys would you like to revisit this summer? Big summer for all of us as most of our cities are opening up again. We're able to see our friends and socialize again. What do you want this summer to bring to you? And what do you want this summer to mean to you? Also physically, think of extending your heart forward as if someone was tugging on your heart with a string. Breathe. If you bend your legs slowly, lower them back to the earth. Everyone, come down to your belly, release your elbows, make a pillow with your hands. Left hand on top. Right cheek looks to the right. Bend your left knee up at a 90-degree angle. This should help release your back from the Sphinx pose. Hopefully it's a nice resting pose for you. Just bring that left leg up closer to the head. I mean, it's not going to be that close, but the movement is closer to the head. And half frog here. So that left leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. Feel a release in your back. And turn your head to look towards the left. The left side is the yin side of the body. Breathe. And then switch sides. Release that left leg back so that it's straight. And then the right leg up to that 90-degree angle. Turn your head to look towards the right. Breathe. Release that right leg back so that it's straight. And then take your time and roll over on your back. Flat on your back, legs stretched out, flat to the mat. And we'll take banana asana on each side. So when you're ready, walk your feet, both feet, over to the left corner of the mat. Both feet are walking over to the left corner of the mat. And then pick up your upper torso and walk it over. And I like to bring my elbows down to help lift my torso up. And bring my upper body over to the left. So you're stretching your body in a C curve or like a banana. And perhaps you can already feel the stretch on the side of your body. To get into the heart meridian, bring your hands overhead and clasp opposite elbows. And then breathe. Feel that stretch in your arms. Feel the stretch in the side body. Remember, both feet are walked over to the left. Your upper torso is walked over to the left, so your body looks like a banana. Your first edge is where you feel something. Bernie Clark is one of the founding fathers of Yin Yoga. And he often says that we don't use the body to get into the pose, but we use the pose to get into the body. Maybe try the Kachari Mudra, tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth. Again, also with the body open this way, you might feel some expansion in your heart. Today's Father's Day. And so some of you might want to send additional love to your fathers. For others of you, today might be a difficult day. Maybe your father is no longer alive. Maybe your father was not who you needed him to be for you. So again, send yourself some love for however you're feeling on Father's Day. For biological fathers, for non-biological fathers. But Father, you may be in the future. Ask your body if it has another edge. If so, you can try crossing an ankle. You can bring the right ankle over the left. See how that feels to your body. You might bring the left ankle over the right. See how that feels to your body. Might give you another edge. Decide what's best for you. And when you're ready, if you cross an ankle, release. Walk your ankles back to the center of your mat. Release your arms from overhead. Walk your torso back to the center of the mat. Big morning stretch. Point your toes. Reach through your pinky fingers above your head. Give yourself a stretch for the rebound. And then we'll go to the other side. Walk both ankles over to the right side of the mat. Again, I like to use my triceps to help me walk my upper body over to the right side of the mat. If you can remember, clasp the opposite elbow overhead. You can never remember which one is which, but anyway, bring those arms over your head. Feel that stretch on the left side of the body now. Breathe. Maybe you want to try that cross of the ankle if your body has another edge. Left over right or right over left. Tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth. Breathe. If you cross an ankle, uncross. Walk your feet back to the center of the mat. Release the claps overhead. Walk your torso back to the center of your mat. Again, if you'd like a morning stretch, point your toes, reach through your pinkies as your arms extend overhead. And then come to your Shavasana, our final pose. Yogi's choice here. Maybe you like your feet as wide as the mat. Maybe you like them closer together. Maybe you like your arms down by your sides, palms flat to the earth for grounding, or maybe up for receiving. Maybe you want one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. If this doesn't feel good on your low back, maybe you bring your feet flat to the earth, walk them out as wide as the mat, pick up your pelvis and let the knees fall in together. Find a place where you're comfortable now, where you don't have to do any effort. Surrender to your final relaxation. Let the body integrate all of the work that we just did. You can release your Kachari Mudra. There's nothing for you to do now but breathe. Start to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your body. I encourage you to take both hands and place them over your heart. And just take a moment to express gratitude from where you've been to where you're going as we mark the transition in seasons from spring to summer. Just for one round of breath, inhale and exhale. You can release your hands, bring them down by your sides. Maybe rock your head and your hips from side to side. Maybe rotate your ankles in one direction, the other. Maybe rotate your wrists in one direction and then the other. On an inhale, you can bring your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side on your low back if that feels good. You could also make circles on your low back if that feels good. But in the spirit of love and gratitude in our hearts, you can give yourself a big hug while you're there. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And then rock over to your left side. Remember, the left side is the yin side, so rock over to fetal position on your left side. Take a full round of breath there. Inhale. And exhale. And then when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today.